You know, I'm really, really, really hating Legend of Korra right now. I mean, season 4 was such an unbelievable train wreck. I hated that season from start to finish. It had one good episode, the second one, and it was such a mess and contrived and oddly paced mess inside another mess. I hated it. Okay. And the season finale. If I were to record myself while reacting to the season finale, I will be throwing F-bombs and raging like a crazy lunatic, or at least like the Spoony one when he rages about wrestling. I was furious about a lot of things, really. I need to vent. Oh my.
What are you?
Such a lovely fella, and he's dead. So anyway, I need to vent about this because everybody and their dogs are going to be fixated on the last 2 minutes of the finale of season 4, in which basically it's all but implied that the two main leading heroines get together when they go on vacation because they hold their hands and it almost seems like they kissed at the end and all of that, which is all good and fancy and dandy. I like that too, but that doesn't automatically save the rest of the season from being a rotten piece of garbage.
Well, you know, they just probably wanted to put something in there just to distract you from the rotting corpse of the Korra's franchise.
You know, and the funny thing is, this is probably the last season of Korra. And to better understand what went horribly wrong with this season, one would have to start from the shark jumping event of season 2, in which basically they have the Avatar face the ultimate force of evil and chaos in an epic battle involving something that seems out of a kaiju film rather than Legend of Korra. And it was really an epic battle, really spectacular. It was utterly ridiculous and kind of dumb, but it was also kind of fun. But the problem is that they jumped the shark, because how do you follow that up? And the answer is they don't. We have season 3, which is a much more solid season compared to the mess all over the place mess type that was season 2, but unfortunately it was also quite unremarkable, because we go from facing the ultimate incarnation of chaos to 4 random anarchist guys who want to throw the world in chaos, and boring, really. They're really nothing special. They're not even memorable, and in what they do and how they do it, it's just 4 guys that want to kill the Avatar because that would free the world of some. And you know what? This brings me to another problem that has become evident in this show. There are no longer limits to what the benders can actually bend, which creates a lot of problems. For example, the Earthbenders. Okay, so in the original Avatar: The Last Airbender, we discovered that Earthbenders can bend metal because metal comes from Earth somehow. It's an alloy that's developed from Earth or some other things like that. I am no scientist, but okay, I'll buy that. Okay, so they can bend metal. Okay. Now in season 3, apparently the Earthbenders are able to bend lava.
Wait, what?
Okay, so this
I'm no Avatar fan, but that just sounds completely ridiculous.
Okay, this raises so many questions. Okay, where to start? Let's start from this point.
Firebenders?
I don't claim to be a geologist, I am not. But isn't magma, lava, basically a mixture between fire and earth? If that's the case, then what's stopping the firebenders to actually get lava from the center of the earth and use it as a weapon? And if that's the case, then why can't if the requirement for an earthbender to bend something is that it has earth in it, then why can they bend wood? I mean, wood is basically water mixed with earth. They should be able to bend it if they can bend lava, which is basically earth with fire. And so the waterbender, by that logic, should also be able to bend wood. And we run into a bit of a problem here, because when your benders can bend everything the script says they can bend, then there are no longer rules or limitations in place, and before you know it, the powers become out of control, and there are no longer limits, and everything becomes ridiculous and unrestrained. It basically becomes Naruto. It becomes a total mess of over-the-top, unchecked powers like Naruto. And speaking of Naruto, Season 4 is on that level of writing, almost on that level of writing, which is kind of the worst thing I can say about any season ever.
Also, it doesn't help the fact that it makes the whole avatar who can bend all elements kinda pointless.
Yes! I mean, hey, Avatar! The Avatar can bend fire, air, the other two,
Water
as well.
and fire.
Big deal! Earthbenders now can bend metal and lava. Can you do that, Avatar? Didn't think so. Maybe the world does not need you anymore. Maybe we should let Korra, aka Hitler, take over the world, and with a giant robot that shoots spiritual energy.
All that time we were playing this game, man, you all through the level. You've missed it. I finished the level of the crater.
I don't care. I need to bend this. Okay. Just everything about Season 4 brings me off the wall into a sea of uncontained rage and fury. I mean, it's... Okay, so... Never mind the fact that you're telling basically us the story you've been telling for a long time now. But there is one mad tyrant who wants to take over the world, like in the original Avatar. Except this mad tyrant has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. And no, that last minute sort of redemption or exploration of her character in the finale does not count as development. For the entirety of the season, she's been a one-dimensional supervillain bent on world domination, who's damaging the environment to get a super weapon that's meant to be placed on the arm of a giant robot that comes out of nowhere to take all the world. Oh, and by the way, protect the environment, because, you know, remember when the show used to be subtle about its environmental messages and maintaining balance in between nature and man and progress? Well, you can throw that out of the window, because this has become Captain Planet, basically. Korra is evil because, oh no, she's ruining the environment. She's getting vines from the spiritual tree in the slump, and she's mad with power, and she's a one-dimensional Hitler with no charisma whatsoever. She's not even fun to watch in action. There is no tension. She's not interesting in the slightest. Then there is the path of the main heroine, Korra. Devar, would you please continue?
Sorry, so I thought that,
you should please continue. Don't mind me. I'm just rambling now. So, the main heroine, Korra, which has this admittedly interesting arc, which she has to regain confidence, get rid of her fears, and all of that. It just puzzles me that.
Do you see this, man? There's like 2 new monsters here. What? Oh, it's the skeletal knights there, and there's a monster down here. Let's have a closer look at them. What the heck? They're like. It's like, are you xenomorphs? Whoa!
All I see is rage right now.
Yes, because you were talking about Korra a lot, and they exploded.
Yes, it's loaded. Okay, supposedly she's able to actually get over her fears by confronting the source of her fears, which is the main bad guy from season 3, which is such a forgettable villain to begin with. But anyway, the problem is that there seems to be really enormous pacing problems in this show. So we have important character moments and plot moments basically delivered in a few quick lines in succession, and then on to the next sequence, and all danced out in a few key episodes, and it feels like it's completely rushed, and it doesn't leave any emotional or psychological impact of any kind. It feels more like, this happened, now this happens, and now everything is fine. Now let's go beat the main villain. And then there is this parallel that the show wants to force in between Korra and Kobita, which again, it feels it's brought up in the very last minute of the climax of the show, and it feels forced and it doesn't feel sincere. And I am not invested in whatever is going on because I was raging the entire season because of everything it was doing wrong. But the absolute worst thing, not only in this season but in Legend of Korra in general, is the character of Zu. I hate Zu. The younger sister to that other police woman. They're both the daughters of Toph Beifong, which happened to be my favorite Avatar character, by the way. And no, the fact that she made an appearance in this season did not rescue the season for me. So that's how bad it was. Okay, so Zu. Basically, all that happens, all of Kavira's doing, all the things all that goes wrong, is because Zu didn't have the guts, didn't want the responsibility, didn't take the responsibility, which was hers to begin with, to reunite the Earth Kingdom into a realm of peace. She did not want to do that because that would be wrong to do. Oh yes, Zu, that's a great idea. Let's leave the kingdom in complete chaos and anarchy after those 4 bad guys from season 3 killed the queen and left the kingdom in anarchy. Don't do anything about it. Let everything go to hell, and the bandits roaming free and rioting. Don't do anything at all. So of course somebody, if not Zu, had to step over, and that what happened to be Kobita, which unfortunately turned out to be freaking Hitler. So basically validating everything that Zu was afraid of, which is absolutely awful because this was caused by Zu being inactive. And does she ever repent for her inactiveness? Does she ever say she's sorry for not, doing something when she had the chance for the betterment of her supposed beloved country? No, because the story wants us to believe that she was right all along about everything. At some point, she even tries to assassinate Kobita. This is supposed to be a level-headed character that's one of the good guys. I just don't understand what went wrong with this season. It's such a load of unbelievable
bull crud.
It's bull crud. It's the worst kind of bull crud. It's not just bad from the once high standards of this series and as a whole. It's just plain bad. And that's that. It's just bad. I hate this season. I hate this story. I hate the character. I don't care for the characters anymore. So really, and those last two minutes of the show in which they basically throw a massive, huge bone to the fans. That's there to basically to distract you from the massive train wreck that the rest of the season was. And I see it. I think I liked it at first because, well, it's bold and all that. But the more I think about it, the more it feels like a ruse, the more like an excuse. It's insulting because that's what's going to happen. That's all the fans are going to talk about. Is anyone going to talk about the freaking how ridiculous, out of place the giant robot was, and now now absolutely overwhelming the CG in this series has gotten to the point it completely alienates you from what this show once was, and whatever form of character development this character have, it feels so completely rushed that it's not even there. It's Look, this is my 2 seasons worth of pent-up frustration, my friend.
Yes, I can see
Which
that.
is kind of a huge frustration because this year they basically broadcast both season 3 and 4, one after the other. So Legend of Korra has lost me completely. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but they killed this show for me. This was bad. This was really bad, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to disagree with me. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. People who will disagree with me violently on this. I know that, but I don't care. This is my opinion. This show has disappointed me for the final time. I don't think. And seriously, Kovira is your final big-time last boss. Kovira, this one-dimensional conqueror of worlds. Oh, but
Yeah.
here's what made me explode with fury and animation by man.
What?
Okay, so there is this topical moment in which, save the game, in which Kovira is repentant, she gets arrested, and she apologizes. She wholeheartedly apologizes to her former mentor, Zu, because Zu was her former mentor. She apologizes to her for what she's done. She is truly repentant. And she's done a lot of that. She's done a lot of damage too. She killed people. She killed Asami's father, and she almost killed her fiancé too. But at least she apologized and she recognized the mistakes of her ways. So naturally, the right sequitur to that statement would be Zu admitting her own flaws, finally admitting that yes, this was partly my fault too. I shouldn't have done this and that. You know what she says instead?
What? What did she say?
You have a lot to answer to.
What?
And that's that. Zu, go burn in hell. You are the worst Avatar character ever. I hate you, and I hate you so much, and your sister should have slapped you some more when she had the chance. Okay, back to the game.